Make sure it's actually live. Because I've totally done that before where with the touch, we were recording I was recording an
Whoops.
AFG interview with them and we went through the whole thing and then I had to run an errand, got back, and then was like, it didn't record.
Nope. Never
It
hit the
didn't even
record
record.
No.
Like, so was it live or did it? Oh my God.
It wasn't live, but it's still like one thing that now I'm like, okay, we're going to give it like a couple of seconds, like make sure it's actually on, like make sure it's good.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the best way to, go about that, but I sure learned.
I was going to say, but you're not making that mistake again. I don't know. Exactly. I feel like I make those mistakes all the time with like anything with my streaming. It's like, sometimes things aren't just connected or sound's not coming through. And it's like, whatever. I guess it'll work sometime.
I still can't figure out the sound on my stream. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Me either. Like channels, like I just started playing around with that the other day. And I'm like, this is like 15 more steps than I've ever wanted to do.
I bought this like Stream Deck thing, right? It's not even plugged in. That's how useful it is because it has all these cool applications. I have no idea what I'm doing with this. I don't know. That's why it's not plugged in. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I feel like I barely know anything, but this thing is amazing. Like I can open up Audacity when I'm recording other podcasts, or I can open up Steam, which is press of one button.
That's
I figured that stuff out. But like the rest of it.
My problem is like I saw one of those and I'm like, or I could just get a Raspberry Pi and like connect buttons together and like just make this 1,000 times more complicated than it needs to be. And so maybe I should just like no, it doesn't. I have I have a confetti cannon that is like notorious for only going off like 40% of the time that it needs to go off. And it's just like, cause it's just all MacGyvered, like duct taped together.
But you have a confetti cannon.
Yes. It's right here. It lives very close to me. You can see all the hot glue. This is a motor oil can because it was the best hopper to have like confetti continuously feed. Because fun fact, like most confetti things are for like a one-time thing and they don't need like a refilling option. Yeah, I know. Random. And it's connected. Cool. It's a leaf blower too. So it's like this is good.
I think you told me that during one of your streams, but I was like, wow. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe
I applaud the ingenuity.
I was gonna say, like, I can't believe you figured out to put that together. I would just be like, yeah, I don't know, if I can't buy it like pre-built or like in a box with some simple instructions like for me, I'd be like, guess it's not gonna be a thing.
I have the opposite problem. I'm like, oh, I could just build it all myself with like 15,000 extra features and take 15 months out of my like life to just build this thing that looks like a little rough and like, could break at any moment. So
I couldn't even put my own computer together. I was like, nope, I'm going to buy it all pre-built. It's going to be all ready together. Just going to take it out of the box and plug it up.
My dad used to make us build our desktops. So
really,
I guess it started at a young age. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably a lot better, but I'm not there. I'm not there. I can pretend to be. I know who I am at this point.
You're very good at games, though. You know what? So you've got that.
If I can just get to the game quicker, then I'll be in a lot better place.
Right. Okay.
So how do you pronounce the shortening of your name?
Smarms is what I go for. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot easier than saying "send me your arms" every time, and that also sounds just like creepy after a while. Like,
I get flagged by like the FBI or something.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I know we need to start this, but the full username used to be "send me your arms." Literally, cut them off and send them to me. But most places won't let me have a username that long, so
it's a sentence. A user sentence, not a username. That's what that is.
Super duper is.
They're gonna think I'm some kind of arms dealer if I say this whole name out. So I'm just going to shorten it.
Yeah.
I'll use the shortening. Okay. I'm good whenever. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being a doofus with your name.
Perfect. Yeah. And okay, it's just Itachi, right? Like nothing. I was like, I've heard you say it, but I just, you know what? While we're double checking.
No. That's it. You're good.
Okay.
I don't know why my Discord is not showing me live. I think it's done that, but maybe it doesn't for YouTube. No.
It does not show that you're alive.
Yeah, and we'll just do a custom status. And we'll just force it to show. All right.
I feel like I'm barely learning Discord. It kept popping up when I was like streaming like on my laptop, and I was like, oh, I just sign out every time. And it's like, or I could just set do not disturb, and it doesn't have the pop-up show up every time. That's a lot easier than signing in and out every single time.
Discord is like Excel.
Yeah. You can turn those settings off too, which is I'm like, no, turn all that stuff off.
Yeah. I thought I did, and it's just
and then it didn't.
Like so it's like I could guarantee that it's not going to go off if I'm not signed in. So
fair.
October 28th. Oh God, that's next weekend. Oh.
What?
The Masters, the Fall Championship.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was that close already.
It's very way closer than I thought it was. I love how when I chuckle, my whole camera moves. That's a lot.
It really adds to the excitement and the joy.
I look like the Mr. Krabs meme where he's got like the world is like spinning around him.
I love it. The blur effect, but you're just adding it to yourself.
Self blur. That's talent. If you didn't know, peak performance there.
I was gonna say you need somebody else in there, and then you guys could start doing like the Star Trek, where it's like if you stabilize the frames and they're all just like going different ways and pretending that they're like being thrown around in space. It's great.
I'm having ideas. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh no, that's okay. There we
go. All right. I think I'm all good on my end if you both are ready.
Good to go.
Like that we both went for thumbs up there.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to episode 3 of the TCCG Roundtable. We're your hosts, Dragon Rider and Itachi. How's it going?
Good evening, everyone.
Hello. And this week we are joined by our special guest, Sendmeyourarms, otherwise known as smarms. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good. It's also weird hearing you say good evening because it's like bright as all get out here. And I'm like, just like, 4:00 Arizona sun beating in the side window. But anyways, kind of random, but it's like, oh yeah, there are places where it is evening. That makes sense.
It's so dark outside. It didn't even, it doesn't look like it's hard to fathom that there's somewhere where it's just super bright. But
yeah.
All right. Well, you know where it is super bright? In Marvel Snap, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This game has been so addictive.
Terribly.
It is.
So before we jump into any of that, we do have our wonderful guest. Let's go ahead and get to know the wonderful smarms a little bit better here. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about like your history with card games? What got you into cards? What card games have you been playing?
So my main like experience is with Hearthstone. My brother started in like the beta in like, early days. I think it's like 2014. Has been bothering me all the time to like get into it. I did not start until 2021. And I decided like, oh, I'll get into it a little bit. Got way into it. Loved it. Other than that, like I'm card game like I played Pokemon back in the day. All of us like were in elementary school, and I was the first one out of my group to get a Charizard. So I was like, pretty committed, like a shiny foil Charizard. I was like, I'm gonna be committed to this game because I've got this exciting card. And then I've been playing Marvel Snap like nonstop for the last like few days. And then I've played one game of Magic the Gathering. It was the command version with like the 1.5 billion cards. And I won. And so it's like, I could try to play more, but like I got like 100% win rate. So maybe I just like retire there.
Go out on top. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
Retired MTG player.
Yeah. Just one and done.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you play standard and battlegrounds in Hearthstone. Do you do other modes as well, or do you kind of focus on those?
I focus on the like I'm don't get me wrong. I said I played these, none of them well. These are all like very just like iffy. I play all the modes when I kind of like playing around, but I do this terrible thing where I'll play Hearthstone and Fortnite at the same time. So like I tend to do like arena or duels when I'm doing that. Or, even standard and battleground sometimes. It's too hard to play Snap and Fortnite at the same time, though, I will say. And I know like Fortnite's super basic, but my nephew plays it, so anyway.
I think on stream yesterday you were streaming Battlegrounds and then you were playing Snap on your phone for a little bit at the same time.
I did, and I won those Snap games. Here's the thing is I kind of vaguely forgot that I was in the middle of a Battlegrounds game. And it's like with Snap, you get so you're like, all right, just start that next game. And it's like, probably didn't mean to press that. And it's like, I did it again because you just like build those habits up.
Yep.
So luckily, I didn't lose any of the games while I was doing that. But I think it's a little bit too much to stream Snap and Battlegrounds all at the same time.
Yeah. You forget to snap too. Like I forget when I'm doing two things, I forget to snap.
Yeah, I forget to snap all the time.
I forget to snap when that's the only thing I'm doing.
I know. Yeah, same. Like I could be so focused and it's like still just forgetting that it's a mechanic because it is a fun mechanic, but it's very new to me, that kind of idea of like double or nothing at the end.
I am a very cocky and overconfident person. I just snap at the beginning of the game. I don't even wait.
I love it.
Just snap. There we go.
Honestly,
start it off.
I think I need to start doing that because I was going to say my win rate was good until like last night. And it's like, maybe I stopped playing against bots and that's why everything has gone downhill rapidly.
Yeah. I'm like the total opposite. I get into a game and I'm like, what is this person doing snapping on the first turn? Like, we haven't done anything.
It's me.
Like, what?
Snap.
You might as well just risk it all.
Too, like, as soon as they snap, I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to snap too then. And then I snap and then
I cannot wait. I can't wait to talk about this in depth.
Yes. Well, you talked a little bit about the game modes that you do. And obviously we've mentioned you stream. So what can you talk about, like just what you do with card games, like content? Do you play tournaments? Do you travel? Have you gone to any like local events or anything like that?
I haven't because I've really only started playing like these things pandemic era. And then, I'm trying my first tournament tomorrow. Trying to see if I can do that. That's, but no, most of the time it's just a hanging out, and it's like, I hope I don't suck at this card game. So no, I haven't traveled. I mean, it sounds fun as heck, but I don't think I'm ever serious enough to like, travel and play seriously. I don't think I can manage that vibe at all. So
it's a lot. It is a lot.
I was gonna say, like focusing for like more than 3 minutes on something, and it's like, no thanks, hard pass.
So when there's a Marvel Snap tournament, like maybe you'll go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I can focus for an entire Snap game is the other thing that I've like learned about myself, which is kind of stressful because then I almost like start to take it seriously because I know I can focus for that long. And it's like, all right, if I can pay attention to it, then I have to do well. And it's a giant failure if I don't. And so it's like the most chill, or what should be like one of the most chill, it's like I'm the most serious about.
It's okay. You'll be the best like no one ever was.
To catch them is my one true test. I can't even finish the rest of the song.
It's okay. No, it's impossible to catch them all because Marvel Snap makes it difficult to get the cards you want. But yeah, it's another story.
Yeah.
It does.
Any other questions or anything that you want to throw out to do in our little interview, Itachi?
Yes. So your username. So give me the story about like where it came from and the full sentence of a username that it stemmed from.
Okay. So username Sendmeyourarms started off in Imgur. I think 2014. It was like my first big like internet account that I kind of got attached to. And it was send me your arms, literally cut them off and send them to me. And it was because like it was like a reactionary username too. Like there was a bunch of like randos that just kept on like putting send nudes in their like own username. So I'm like, nah, man, we're gonna physically cut off arms and get them. So I just said yeah. So then it kind of stuck, and it's like, that's one of the things that definitely shouldn't have stuck. But here I am, much later, and you know what? It's weird, but I guess that fits.
Weird. That's fine. We're here. I don't want to talk about my old usernames.
Oh my God.
AOL, Instant Messenger, Yahoo Chat.
Oh God. Those AOL ones, like shameful. And then like MySpace. Does anybody like, maybe I'm just.
Nope, I'm there.
Yeah. And it's just like, I hate everything about that version. Whoever decided that.
I have Facebook memories from like 2008, and I don't know who that guy was, but he was annoying. Whoever me was in 2008 was very, very annoying.
So do you remember Facebook statuses used to be your name and then and then it would be something? And so then when you get those memories, you sound like you're speaking in like tongues and gibberish. It's like, what is going on here? And then it's like, oh yeah, that's how it used to be. But anyways, Facebook, old-timey Facebook, relatable content for the youth. I know.
Ah, yes. 2008, a year where everyone was of adulthood.
I know. Yeah. I did turn 18 that year, so.
In 08?
Yep.
Oh, okay. When did I turn 18? I don't know. I don't do math. 2009, 10, 9.
This is the thing about being on the internet is I start to feel like so old because it's like, and like Dragon Rider, I think I'm a little bit older than you.
Probably by like a couple months, I think.
Okay.
Isn't that what we figured out? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Look at all us old people.
I know.
Look at us.
We're gonna retire to the nursing home any day now. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like that most of the time until like I go on TikTok and I'm like, I don't know what is cool anymore or what.
I used to think Family Guy was funny, so I am not in any way relating to none of the stuff that's going on today. Like, what are
I think we all used to have terrible taste in comedy because like there wasn't the options that there are today. Like, now I can watch hyper specific things, and so like my mom's like very vehemently against reality TV. But that's because she mostly watches like, cable, and like the reality TV on there is meh. But I got her into F1. Sorry, this is like really tangent. Feel free to get me on track whenever.
Go for it.
F1 Drive to Survive. And like, it's like technically that is reality TV, but because it's like such a hyper specific thing, she's absolutely obsessed. Like my mom, who maybe watches like an hour of TV a week, we've watched 8 episodes in one day, I think, together. So yeah. Anyways,
Formula
this old, yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, I've already talked about how cool I am. Now I'm talking about like hanging out with my mom nonstop. So just like,
well, watching race cars though, like that's different, right? Is that not different? That's got to be different.
Yeah, super cool. And you know, they go in different shaped tracks, unlike NASCAR. So I think that adds.
That is more infinitely more exciting than NASCAR. I will say that
anything is infinitely more exciting than like an hour of left-hand turns, right-hand turns. I don't know which way they're going.
Whichever way, it's boring. I don't like watching it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Sorry.
You're good.
Real quick.
All right.
I gotta say, wait. You know your sport is terrible when people are hoping for a crash. That's people are like, this is so boring that I want to see someone get injured. I need a crash.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. I had to say that though.
Or baseball. The most exciting part of that is like sitting there and running stats. I don't know, but maybe that's just me.
If I can't watch baseball, I love playing it. It's very fun to play, but watching it,
honestly, I think that's what people like. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people think about card games. Like, you know, streamers and like there's a lot of stuff that's like you just watch literally someone sit there and like, decide about what they're doing and just watch the rope burn while they're like thinking what to play.
Yep.
You know, you're really bringing us back to like down to earth here. And that was like the humbling experience I wasn't expecting.
You can put yourself there and be like, all right, well, I would have played it like this. But like he made a left turn. I would have made the same left turn. I didn't have a choice.
That's fair. Oh, all right. Anything else?
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm good. That's it.
All right. Well, we will have links to find all of Smarm's socials in the YouTube description and the show notes for our audio listeners. And she will also plug those later in the show as well. And I think it's time to move into some news. All right. So, obviously, the big news, Marvel Snap launched this week on Tuesday the 18th. Yay! We are going to definitely deep dive and talk about that in a little bit. So let's chug through the rest of this news really quickly. And maybe Itachi can speak to this a little more, but I saw Yu-Gi-Oh! Posted the new Magnificent Mavens box set is going to be available everywhere on November 4th.
Yes. So real quick note about that for anyone that does play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or is interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! It has a lot. What that box does is it creates a lot of reprints of very powerful cards that were previously kind of hard to get. And so I was looking at the pre-orders before we started. And the pre-orders for cards that have been historically like $100 or more, and cards that you need 3 of, or even $35 to $40 or $50, that's like a lot to pay. And then that's $150 for 3 cards. Those no card was more than like $15. So very good reprints, very easy to obtain reprints. So very good set release. It's kind of it's not a core set, meaning it's not a part of the base sets. It's kind of like a mini expansion set. So it's awesome. It's a good thing.
Cool. Well, we also had the Digimon card game announcing the upcoming Theme Booster Draconic Roar EX03. I'm sorry if I butchered that a little bit. I am unfamiliar with the Digimon card game, but I did see that will those packs are also releasing November 11th. So we've got a lot of stuff coming out coming up, which I don't know if this like November, end of October through like, Christmas time, like end of the year is just like, like every card game is like, we're going to have an expansion and cards dropping in that time. So I'm sure we will be seeing a lot of this over the next few weeks. But we have a link there if you want to check that out as well. And then the Pokemon TCG Paldea collection announced and includes 3 foil promo cards. Oh my gosh, I'm probably going to butcher some of these, featuring Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Squaxley.
That was pretty good. That's
okay,
pretty good.
All right. I am not playing Pokemon in so long.
It's clear that it's been decades since I played Pokemon, because don't have a clue who any of those are, but
they're new. They're like new Pokemon, so it's okay that you don't know.
I know the 150, and then it's just like everything else. It's a guess.
I'm pretty close to that too. Gen 1 is where my heart stays.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, in addition to those 3 foil promo cards, there's also 1 foil oversized card featuring Koraidon X or Miraidon X. Hopefully those are correct.
Almost. It's EX, but it's okay.
Is it? Is it EX?
It's EX. Yep.
Okay. See, this is another thing, that I haven't played the physical card games in a while, and I feel like the physical things do stuff differently than the digital cards. And just looking at it in a textual form without knowing the context of some of these things is oh, it's different. Okay.
I was gonna, because I was confused, okay, if you have a deck of physical cards, because I'm that Pokemon back in the day, I'm like, how does an oversized card work? Because then you would know what's in your card is. And it's all right, clearly I've missed a few steps here, but that's fine.
Well, you also either get a collector's pin featuring 1 of the 3 as well, 4 Pokemon TCG booster packs, a code card usable in either the Pokemon TCG Online or Pokemon TCG Live, and then the Pokemon TCG Paldea collection will be available January 6th. So 2023, still a couple months out, but they did announce that and reveal it. So you can check that out. And then one other piece of news that I saw that's kind of seemed like a really fun thing was starting from October 20th, running through October 24th in MTG Arena, they are doing a Post Malone Arena concert event. So you can play with 5 different pre-constructed, musically themed historic brawl decks, channel posty vibes with avatars, sleeves, and stickers. So we have a link for that as well if you are interested. But these games pairing, and I think Magic especially has been doing a lot of crossover stuff. They've had sets coming out. They're, obviously working with huge names like Post Malone. So that feels like a pretty big thing. It's I saw that, it was like, whoa, wow, okay, that's pretty awesome. So unfortunately it's only a 4-day thing, but still seems like a really fun thing for sure.
That's pretty cool. I noticed that Post Malone is a pretty avid Magic player. I saw him playing with Brian Kibler a little bit. And I know he's super popular. So that's awesome that they're doing that event. And I saw some of the, if you look at the sleeves and the cards that are in that event, I think some of the sleeves look super cool. It's a sleeve for each different land. So island, swamp, mountain, so on and so forth. And they look really cool.
But that was kind of all the news that I had for this week. Mitachi, can you take us through the competitive play?
Absolutely. First thing we've got is the Hearthstone Fall 2022 Masters Championship. 16 exceptional players from the last 3 Master Tours are going to come together to duel online for the title of 2022 Hearthstone Masters Fall Champion, their share of a $50,000 prize pool, and an invite to the World Championship. It's going to be a Europe time broadcast, so it's going to be 3 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be Friday, October 28th through Sunday, October 30th. A link for that will be in the show notes. Additionally, Magic World Championship is at 28 happening in Las Vegas, October 28th through the 30th. 32 players will be competing. So you'll get to watch every minute of the Magic World Championship 28 live from Magic 30 in Las Vegas, October 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, live at twitch.tv/magic. That'll be super cool. They're naming those Super Bowls. They're Magic World Championship. That's so cool.
It's
Champion 30.
I kind of wish they'd name them like Fast and Furious instead. So Magic-y the Magicier. I don't know.
And then you have Tokyo Drift that's in there somewhere, just like random.
Obviously, yeah. Like an offshoot of the franchise. Anyways, sorry.
No, you're good. Infinity Wars Classic is having qualifiers with $100 prize pools. That's going to be this weekend, October 21st and 22nd, leading to a playoffs tournament with a $500 prize pool next weekend on October 29th. Qualifier winners will face off versus 4 invited players, where previously we said Dragon Rider was one of them, but she is no longer one of them. She will be casting Supergirl Gamer Pro Battlegrounds instead. That is the much cooler event, by the way. And our wonderful guest will be playing in that event as well. So we look forward to that.
Attempting to, at least.
Yes.
Attempting to play.
You're gonna be
we're
awesome.
rooting
Yes.
for you. You'll do great. So that's all we've got for competitive news this week. We've got the roundtable topic this week, which is Snap. Everyone's super excited about the game. It released October 18th this week. It's been wildly addictive. It's been wildly fun, and also in some ways kind of frustrating. So as a quick overview, there are 12 cards in a deck, 6 turns per game most of the time. And then there are 3 locations in the center of the board. The goal is to control 2 out of those 3 locations to win. Locations have different effects that are random each game and are revealed to players 1 turn at a time over the first 3 turns of the game from left to right. So you'll see location 1, turn 1, number 2, turn 2, and number 3, turn 3. And then you'll play 3 turns with all of those locations revealed. Players pick and place their cards at the same time without knowing what the other player is doing. So you're playing a turn at the same time invisibly, and then it's revealed to you at the end. One player has initiative, and that is the order the cards are revealed on that turn. It's the initiative of the highlighted player, and then the order of the cards are the order in which you played the cards onto the board. You can undo before you submit your turn. You upgrade cards, you upgrade your collection level, and you have 3 different card pools that is based on your collection level. So up to a certain level, you only get cards from pool 1, and then between another area range, you'll get cards from pool 2 and then pool 3. You get cubes for winning a game, which is kind of not necessarily currency. What would you describe cubes as? Kind of like,
feel like it's like a
reward, kind
rating,
of
like a star in Hearthstone.
Kind of like stars in Hearthstone, or levels or ranks, like increasing your rank. And the way that you win cubes is there's 1 game given, or the 1 cube given for playing the game. And then once you get to the last turn of the game, that doubles. If either player snaps, the number of cubes in the pool doubles. Snapping is just, if you feel like you have an advantage, you can tap the cubes at the top. You snap, that means that your reward for that game is essentially doubled, which Hearthstone should add a snap option, because I would love to double all the stars that I'm going to win in any given game at any given time, or double my battlegrounds points. So that would be cool. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of Marvel Snap. We've all been playing it, probably too much from what I know. I know I was at work. I took like a second aside. I was like doing interviews or something like that, and I took a second just to like breathe for a second. And I'm like, let me post my Marvel Snap deck on the let everybody know what I'm playing so you can see. So what has you guys' experience been? What are some like weird things that you've encountered, or best games or best and worst locations? Like, what's your experience been? We'll start with you, Smarms, since you're the guest here today.
Oh, I was just going to mention, like, the problem with like how addictive it is you're like, oh, this will be real quick. I've got like 4 or 5 minutes. But then you play that second game, and then that third game, and then like pretty soon, like none of the laundry's getting done. Your dogs need to be fed. I don't know. But I've enjoyed it. I'm pretty like lowish level still. I think I could just hit 30 last night, maybe-ish. I think. Yeah. I think I love the locations mechanic and how like 1 gets revealed each turn. I think that like adds like a fun little that way you're not just like straight playing cards against one another. I'm trying to think of like, I feel like I don't have a grasp of deck building. Like currently my deck is like, I build decks by finding a keyword, and it's like, I'm just going to add everything that has that keyword in it, and we're going to pretend that makes a cohesive deck. So
Yeah, it's
What
so
about you, Dawn?
interesting. Like, I have had a lot of fun. I will say also, by the way, the fact that you've gotten 30, it's been 2.5 days.
I've got a
Like,
problem.
you're already ranked 30. Like, you're doing well. You're fine. It's I don't know. I've been having so much fun. Yeah, I started streaming it on Tuesday, the first day that, like, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something after it launched. And I streamed it for like 8 hours or something. And I was like, this is so fun. Oh my gosh. And it was just like, then the next day I was like, all right, let's do this again. And, obviously I've also had to try to play some Battlegrounds this week, because I knew ahead of time that I would be casting, the Supergirl Battlegrounds. So I was like, I better get some Battlegrounds in and like practice a bit. But internally I was like, but I really want to be playing Snap right now.
Do what I do, which is both at the same time.
I know,
it's not
Yep.
great, but it is kind of doable.
Yep.
But it's been a ton of fun, and I feel like, you mentioned about like the locations and how they're all different, and I think there's like around 80 different locations right now.
Ooh.
Some of them are much more rare to see than others, like they show up a lot less often. And then they're also doing it for like 48 hours at a time. I think once a week, maybe. I'm not sure on that, but like for 48 hours, they have a featured location that has a 40% chance to show up more often.
Mhm.
So, like the last 48 hours or so have been the Daily Bugle,
Bugle.
which,
Mhm.
yeah, it gives
Okay.
each player a copy of a card from their opponent's hand. So, that one has shown up in a lot of the games. It feels like, but overall, I think the changing of the locations and like that being kind of the RNG factor in there has been really fun to me, because it makes each game, like, even though they do go really fast, it's made each game feel kind of really different. And then
Mhm.
you're like, you're playing and you're going, oh, okay, but like if I place my stuff in this like third lane, over on the far right, and it's not revealed yet, am I gonna get screwed if it's something really
Mhm.
bad?
But sometimes
Or
it's like better, like the one that shuffles rocks in. Like if you accidentally place a card there early, and like your opponent doesn't want to play there because rocks are irritating as heck. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I kind of like that like risk factor of like I could play this. It could be -3 power to each one of my cards, or I could accidentally win this one because the other person doesn't want to deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like the RNG thing of the locations has been really fun. And I will say, when I place my cards well, or I feel like I use the location super well, the game feels super rewarding. Like, I'm like, oh,
Yep.
I outsmarted my opponent. I feel so smart. But ooh, when it's the other way, I'm like, oh, they just high rolled. Oh, they got
Yeah,
the good,
yeah.
they placed a card and then the location was so good for them.
Hey.
Oh, they got a random card. Of course it was like a 12 power card. And here I am,
Yep.
like staring at 4 power. I'm like, oh, but
But
when I win, it feels great.
Don't we all do that with every card game though? Like it's like I won because of my merit and I tried so hard, and they won because they're lucky and I was unlucky.
I have learned not to do that until I started playing this, and I was like, when I win, I'm the smartest, and when I lose, the other player got lucky. And I'm like, that's probably not like a great mindset, but I feel like you really feel that a lot more, because I think like every play, since it's only 6 turns, like it
Every play
feels like
counts.
every play
Yeah.
is so impactful. Whereas in other card games, especially when you can have longer games, like in Hearthstone, you have games that can go 40 minutes long for a single game
Yeah.
sometimes, and you're like, okay, I played that thing earlier and like, it's not really relevant now. But with Snap, with 6 turns, like, yeah, everything matters.
Yeah, the last game that I played actually before we started, like before I got on the recording, the location one was place a random card here for each player. And I got like Ironheart, which is the 3 mana 0 cost that buffs your things by 2, and they got the Hulk. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop right here. we're not gonna go any further. I'm gonna just retreat. Hopefully, I think I got it in before he snapped. I closed the whole application. I didn't want to see it.
It's like, you know, it's bad, but you just
get out of here.
You don't just concede. You just really like exit everything.
Get out of here. Get this away.
Here's my thinking: is that like their Hulk is committed there, and like you know, the other two locations, you know that they don't have a big card to like play out there. But yeah, I also understand turn 3. That's a little aggressive.
It's like, so I don't want to commit to trying to catch the Hulk, so they don't have to commit to that lane, so they can just use all the resources for 2 lanes. And if I'm like, haha, I'm gonna go back over here to lane 1, they could be like, Iron Man, okay, now it's 24. And I'm like, all right, well, you win.
Okay, that's a like really good point. I like digging myself in deeper sometimes, so
the first sign of trouble, don't be around me near a fire, because as soon as I see smoke, I'm out. I'm done.
See, for the first whole day that I played, I didn't concede at all. Like I didn't.
That honestly, I think is one of the most different things about the game is like with other card games, like especially Hearthstone, and I think somebody on Twitter pointed this out. Ridiculous Hat, if you don't know him, he's very, very popular in multiple card games. But basically, he kind of made the comparison of Hearthstone. You really like it teaches you how to play to your outs, but Marvel Snap teaches you how to fold. And even I would rather try to like bluff my way out of something than just fold. And it's like you can't really do that. And like that's like for me been one of the hardest things. Like, oh, I don't want to give up. No, I can still win this. Yeah.
Oh God, it's the exact same.
I had to learn quickly that once I started playing like people snap, right? And so that's why I snap super early, because if somebody goes like no 1-drop, no 2-drop, and their deck just like gives up on them and they have to start playing from turn 3, a lot of people will concede super early to try to save the cubes or whatever. So I'm like, nope, we're gonna see this. I got a 1-drop, we're snapping. We're gonna play this game, and you're gonna give me 2 cubes, or you're gonna get out of here. Whatever, it's up to you. And so like adversely, I think people snap too late, so it gives me the chance to like when I know that I'm not winning this game, I can concede and save myself the like. Once I started seeing the level go backwards, I was like, okay, wait, let's not have that happen. I lost eight cubes one time, and I was like, oh,
that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, that happened at all.
Gosh, I don't know. Like, so I feel like I snap way too late, and I will not snap unless it's like a guarantee. I feel like I'm bad at snapping unless it's like a guaranteed win. And this like really shows up. Like gambling for some reason stresses me out. Nothing else. Like, and it's like, I don't know why. So it's like, this one's risky. I'm gonna lose my cubes. And it's like, I could just risk it. I'm probably gonna win, but
I know. I have that debate in some games too. I'm like, should I snap? Well, I don't know, but like if they have this one thing and they play it in that one spot, like I probably lose. And it's like, I think they have it, so I'm not going to snap. And then they do something that's like just terrible the next turn. And I'm like, I should have snapped. Dang it.
Yeah.
I overthink it like that too. And so I think that's why like maybe I should adopt the just snap on turn 1 if I have a 1-cost card. We're going to see how this goes.
I got a 1 and a 2. That's a snap. That's what we do.
You know, speaking of 1 and 2s, my favorite setup, I've been playing a pretty like low curve deck. I'm still in pool 1, so you know, because I think I'm at like 130 collection level or something, and you don't start getting into pool 2 until like around 214. I think that's when pool 1 ends.
I'm at 178, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so close. Let me get out of here.
Yeah. But I have loved Hawkeye into turn 2 Domino, because Domino you guarantee draw on turn 2 and not before. So you always can do like Hawkeye in turn 1, and then you always have that turn 2 follow up with Domino. So like,
that is nice.
That has felt good. As long as you do draw, like sometimes you don't draw Hawkeye. And so I still am playing a fairly low curve thing. So like sometimes I might be like, oh, I gotta play this like Ant-Man, which not the greatest. Like
Ant-Man is tier 1. It's like one of the best cards in the game.
I don't know about playing it on turn 1. I generally like to play it a
right?
little bit later, but sometimes
Ant-Man's great on turn 1 if you get a location that is like whoever's winning here by turn 4 either like draws 2 cards or the other side gets destroyed. So like you're gonna want to fill that up, and so like therefore Ant-Man is gonna get his boost, or at least that's how I've been playing it.
So I'm the overly mental guy. So like I went and once I saw the list of all the pool cards, so like I had been playing for a while before I realized what the pools were. And then I was like, oh, let me go see all the pool 1 cards. And then I looked at them all and I like made this tier list of like, okay, this card's insane. Like Ant-Man. Ant-Man's insane. Angela's insane. I need to put these in every single deck. And how do I build around Ant-Man? And it's like, okay, there's this zoo stuff, and then there's this like discards. There's so many ways to like build, but just like seeing what cards were like tier 1, highest tier was so important for me to learn how to build the decks. Cause like I'm just like, I don't know what I could be having. I don't know what anybody else could have either.
I could not be more different. I didn't even know there were different pools of cards. Like I was just like assuming I got them randomly, and it's all right.
You know, that's fair though, because there is like no indication in game or any way you would know that unless you looked at some sort of news or heard it from like other content creators or people that have been playing since beta. Like there's really not an indication. So I guess we should talk a little bit about that. Like, so the kind of way that you earn cards is through this collection level. And in order to increase your collection level, you need to upgrade your cards. So it's not like a buy packs and open them to get cards, which is kind of interesting. And I will say the upgrading the cards as well, it doesn't change like their power level or their abilities or their, you know, how they function or anything like that. It stays the same. It's just the cosmetic like look of them. And another note that like I had no idea on the first day, and then I started picking up on it, and then like I saw something that Itachi posted and I was like, that makes sense. Is that you only earn the resources to upgrade cards that you have in your deck that you're playing with, right? Like you don't get resources to upgrade some cards. So it does kind of force you to play like all the cards you have and switch out the cards you're using if you want to upgrade more of the cards and increase your level faster, which has some good and bad to it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how either of you feel about that.
And that's definitely a strategy that I'm going to be implementing now that I know about it.
Yeah. A lot of this you don't
like
know.
I just wasn't paying attention to it because I just have like one deck that is kind of easy. My thing is like I just wanted to build something right out of the gate that I could use for a while. Apparently that was like not the best strategy. So I only have like ongoing cards, and yeah, now that it makes a lot like looking back in like retrospect, probably should have been able to figure that out. Wasn't paying attention enough to like notice it.
It's super ambiguous. Like they don't make it very clear at all. So I will say that I've learned the quote unquote strategy for upgrading your cards to get the most out of your credits, because you use credits to upgrade the cards. And as you upgrade them, your collection level increases. So like the cards start off with a gray border, and then you upgrade to uncommon, which is a green border, and then you upgrade to rare, which is blue, epic, purple, legendary, yellow, just like Hearthstone. So each level up costs a different amount of credits, and also you have to have boosters. You get boosters by playing games. A card in your deck at random will give you boosters equal to the number of turns that the game went. So if the game went 6 turns, you'll get 6 boosters for a random card in your deck at the end of the game. So that's how that works.
Wow.
I'm so excited, like learn more. Yeah.
So I'll tell you the strategy. What you do is you make sure that all of your cards that are gray, you upgrade them, which is common. You upgrade them to uncommon. The reason why is you pay 25 credits and 5 boosters to upgrade from common to uncommon. That gets you 1 collection level. And that's the cheapest that you can get a collection level, because after that, it's 100 points, 100 credits to upgrade a card, which gets you 2 levels. So you're paying 50 credits per collection level. But with the first upgrade, you're paying 25 credits for that collection level. It might only be 1 level, but you're only paying 25 credits for it. Does that make sense?
But then doesn't it dip back down? Because like I think So, you know, obviously it gets more expensive on that second level, but then I think like the one that gets you 6 collection points, it's cheaper than just the one that gets you 4 collection points, if I'm not like cheaper per collection point.
I think it's this. I think it goes 25, and then it goes to 100, and then 200, and then 300.
Okay.
To upgrade. It's 300 or 400.
Yeah.
So 400 might be actually more expensive per. So like it is 400, and you only get 6 levels, so it's a little bit more expensive. I would stick away if you're trying to unless you're trying to spend a bunch of money, then do whatever you want. But I'm not. So like to conserve your credits, they have the ability to like fast upgrade a card in the shop. Like if you look in the shop and you scroll down a little bit, it'll say upgrade these cards now. And so what it is like, let's say you could upgrade a card and you've got 4 boosters, but you need 5. It basically lets you buy that extra booster, but at the cost of 5 credits per booster. So you still have to pay the 25 credits, and then you pay 5 credits to buy basically that extra booster that you needed. So it would cost 30 credits to upgrade it. That's how that works.
I feel like sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I feel like the game mechanics are simple, and it's all the surrounding stuff that's like complicated as heck. Like, what on earth? Like, this is like 50,000 more steps than I was kind of expecting about the, you know, upgrade pools and everything else.
Yeah, it's very weird. But I guess I said all that to say, if you have great cards, throw a great card in the deck. It won't hurt you for a couple of games. Upgrade it to green, then take it back out. That will get you the most bang for your buck in terms of like collection level to get you access to more cards quicker.
Yeah. You know, okay, talking about like a couple of things that I don't think people know as well. First of all, when I was starting, you go through like the tutorial games, right? Then after you do like the handful of like tutorial games, it starts pairing you into bots, and even the further you go up the rank, like you can get some players mixed in there too. But then it's like after you reach, I think when you hit rank 10, then you get like 2 or 3 scripted games, which essentially are another couple tutorial games that teach you about the snapping and the cubes. For me, I found that super jarring and confusing because I thought I did the tutorial. And then I was playing and I was like, again, there's no indication that you're playing against bots. So that was not even something I knew. And it was like, okay, so I'm playing against people, you know, and I was like, I'm just thrown into games. But then I thought I was doing really well. And then all of a sudden it like jumps you into this game and it stops. And then I'm like, why? Well, now I'm learning about snapping and cubes. And I'm like, didn't I already do the tutorial? Why are we now teaching me about this other thing? And then I had been doing all, you know, so well, right? Because I'm facing against these bots that they purposely give you to, you know, teach you the game. And then one of those forces you to lose to teach you about the retreat mechanic. And I was so mad. It was like, no, my win rate. I was doing so well. And I was like, I don't know, just as a player, it was like, there was no indication going into that game that it was going to be scripted, that there was a new mechanic being introduced. Like, it just felt really weird. Like, it felt like I did the tutorial and then I jumped into the game, and then those games, it felt like it pulled me back out of the game, and then I had to like realign into the game again.
Do you want to know something?
I didn't like it.
Do you want to know something?
Yeah.
I'm going to get very close to the microphone as I say this.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I thought I was just bad. I was like, I'm losing. I was doing so good. I didn't know that they were scripted.
It'll pop up like showing you the text, you know, teaching you about the cubes and the retreats and all that stuff. Yeah, those are scripted games that, like, especially the one about retreat. Yeah, it's purposeful to teach you about that mechanic of retreating and not losing as many cubes and stuff. Yeah, so they do that on purpose. But I didn't like the fact that it was not like part of the tutorial games, and they like split it up.
I thought I was bad, and it was like, dude, you're doing terrible. You should probably quit this game. I thought it was. That's where it stopped.
You should never play this game.
You have messed up, dude. You just might as well get out of this because it ain't.
The game before like followed this weird pattern too, if I'm not mistaken. Like the one before the concede one. So like, right? Or am I
Yeah,
could be
like
that one
so
was scripted too.
starts
Yeah.
yeah, so there's like 2, maybe 3 scripted games when you hit rank 10, which is like
Yeah.
bronze. Right? So it's the first one is teaching you about snapping.
okay.
And then I think that one is like it's scripted so that you win,
Okay.
to teach you
Yeah.
about like
I was
getting
gonna say
double.
that one felt weird because it felt like my draws were weird on that one. So it's like,
Perfect curve. Yeah.
something's a little
Yeah.
off here, but
Yeah.
okay.
And then the next one teaches you about losing. And I think that one is one where it starts. One of you talked about the location and it pulled out the Hulk and stuff. Yeah, I think that one, like, that's the setup that they do in that one. Like, it purposely pulls the Hulk out of their deck on like the first turn or
I
one of the
just feel
couple
so
turns.
bad that
And
you
you're
thought
like,
like
yeah,
the
like
game was bullying you.
I did. I was like, this.
yeah.
I see why Thanos did what he did because this is
I
rude.
know.
This was rude. Somebody made this decision.
But yeah, so if you haven't played the game yet and you're going to be getting into it and you're listening to this, just a heads up, that is coming. So when it does happen, like, just get ready for it. It'll be okay. You can move on through it. But yeah, I don't know. Just personally, I was like, that feels like a really kind of odd, weird experience. And like, I didn't know about the whole thing. Like, it pairs you up against like bots, like AI. Which, good and bad. I think the good part of that is it felt really fluid, right? It was like, oh, okay, these couple of games just like right into the game, and you go, and I don't have to spend all this time like, purposefully going into some other screen and then going into AI or playing against the computer. Like, it's not a separate thing. It was very fluid in that way. But my experience then was like, wait, I thought I was doing so well. Like, I'm beating up on people. I'm so smart. Like, I'm good at card games and I'm bringing that into this and like I know all that. And then it was like, oh, wait, now there's this other thing. Wait, no, I have to lose. I don't like this. And then I stayed in the game longer because I was like, no, I don't want to quit. I don't want to give up. So like I stayed in the game longer and lost more cubes. People in my chat were like, yeah, that's designed for you to like, you're supposed to retreat early. Like, no. Well, it's like, I don't want to give up. That's no. I didn't.
See, giving up has its merits, boy. I tell you.
So the thing is, I didn't notice that was outside of the tutorial, and now I'm wondering like how little I was paying attention to be like,
Same.
yeah, this is still like tutorial adjacent.
Like
so I realized, go ahead.
Made that way, but right, like to be very fluid. So I think, or depending on how well you did, I don't, if you were winning all of the games, you probably hit it pretty quickly. If you played multiple games and you probably progressed to that rank 10 pretty quickly.
It also could just be like hit a fugue state, wasn't really paying attention to like what was going on. Who knows? But the thing that I will say, like, the bots, while it's not always the most fun and is kind of irritating, like I think that you want that initially for any sort of like playing against another person game, because like they don't know how popular it's going to be. You don't want your queues to like be for forever. And so it's like, well, yeah, I don't love bots necessarily. I do love how I get to start a game within like 10 seconds of, hitting play.
Yeah. Also do like, honestly, here's the thing. I sometimes succumb to my ego, and knowing that I was just beating the brakes off these bots over and over, like they didn't stand a chance. It wasn't close, right? Like it wasn't close. So like I needed that to keep me like enthralled in the game. Like if I could do that to these bots, I could do that to these people. So like once it stopped being like, okay, this is a picture of Cable and his name's Cable. Okay, this is a bot, right? Then it started being like Paul 887. Okay, this is really Paul. Like we about to play. Me and Paul about to play right now. So like I kind of got and then I started winning some of those, and I was like, okay, we're good. So I feel like I needed the bots personally, just because I have an ego.
Also, like adding cubes to the larger pot, isn't like that bots are doing that essentially, right? Because if you know, in the games, you're either like giving or taking away cubes. That's like a fixed amount. And so like if we have this gigantic pool of, you know, all the players, I feel like you need some way to like feed cubes into that system, right?
Oh, right. Because somebody they get the cubes got to come from somebody.
Yeah.
You know, talking about like pairing up against bots or real people and stuff too. Also, one thing that is really interesting is how they kind of do the matchmaking. And we were talking earlier about the like card pools and how like basically you're in the first card pool up until like collection level 214. They pair you. Huh?
Oh, I was just going to say that's like way higher than I was expecting it to be to like change pool levels. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like, probably to give you like more times to actually really kind of learn and, you know, and get those cards. But they do pair you like with similarly, you know, collection based other players. So like, you know, if you're only collection level 150, you're going to face against other people who are like also in that same kind of collection pool and around that same area, not somebody who has the whole collection, which I will say is also very nice because that helps with that, you know, beginner and like that ego style, right? Like being able to play and then be like, okay, I recognize these cards. Maybe after, you know, maybe there's a card here that we're like, huh, I haven't seen that before. You know, as you get it, but you really kind of get to learn the game, start to get to like learn the cards. Whereas, you know, yes, there are kind of apprentice ranks or like beginner style ranks in other card games. It still can start pairing you if you do well in those first ones. It'll start pairing you against people who like, you know, you're playing all these like basic cards, and then here comes Joe Schmo who has like 30 legendaries, and you're just like, what? Well, that's not fun.
When I had to play against people who had like these perfect combos, I'm like, I didn't even know these cards existed. And, you know, the fact that they were getting combos when I was still playing with like the intro deck or whatever that they essentially give you that's like Hulk dominant. And
so they have 3 pools. Like you said, up to 214 is the first pool. From 18 to 214, that's 46 cards. So there's 145 cards total. 46 cards are in that first pool. So there's only that many cards in addition to the base cards they give you that you can earn. And then from 222 to 474, there's 25 pool 2 cards. And then from 486 and beyond, there's 74 more cards. So there's, like I said, total 145 cards divided that way in between the pools. So like that pool 2, that middle ground, the decks get better because there's a lot better cards in pool 2, but there's only 25 of them. So like you get cards less frequently through that like reward track and the collection track, but like the cards are better. So you'll be able to refine and change up the decks. There's a few different decks that are available at pool 2. But they use a lot of the same cards because there's only, like I said, there's only 25 cards there. So like cards like Ant-Man, Angela, Odin, Onslaught, those still see play throughout. Those see play throughout like pool 3 as well, even though it has a ton more cards. But yeah.
Okay. One other thing I want to bring up too that I don't think everybody knows. I learned this on the first day. You can undo during your turn. If you play something, you can drag it back. There's 2 ways to do it. You can drag it back to your hand. Or if you click on that little energy sphere at the bottom, that's like your mana that increases every turn. If you click that, there's an undo all actions button. Yeah. So if you put 2 cards, you can click on that and be like, oh crap, I put those backwards. Then you can like hit the little energy thing and then hit undo all actions. They'll go back to your hand and then you can reorder them. As long as you have not hit the end turn button, you can undo those actions. You can't undo things from like the previous turn or anything, but like during your turn, if you accidentally, you know, or, you know, on mobile, like, oh, I fat fingered that, my finger slipped on the screen and I put the wrong card out. Like, no, wait, Iron Man, no, I don't want you over there in the lane by yourself. No, like get back in my hand. You know, you can undo that. So I thought that was kind of cool. That is one thing that like for Hearthstone, I wish I'd had, because sometimes you drop a card and you're like, oh crap, no, I don't want to do that. Well,
particularly now I'm stuck with that. Battlegrounds, it feels like there's no like reason to not have like an undo button. You know, I was like the first time I misplayed a card and I'm like desperately hoping that I can drag it back to my hand, I'm like, this feels so nice considering how many like dumb little mistakes I'm prone to making at any given time. That it's nice to know that like, you know, when I lose, it was by choice and not by just accidentally playing a card.
Yeah.
I think the undo thing, especially for a mobile game, just feels really great. Like, or there's, you know, times I'll be holding my phone, I'm sitting in my chair, and the dog walks over and puts their nose up my elbow and my arm goes up. I'm like, okay, well now I just played this card that I didn't want to play because my hand slipped because the dog, you know. Or I'm sure people with kids, like you got the kids running up, grabbing your arm, you know, something that's like. So I don't know. I love that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whose kids are just running up and assaulting people. My kids don't do that. Hey kids, thank you for not assaulting me. Because if they just ran up and they were like, "Haha, Dad," I'd be like,
oh my God,
what are y'all doing?
My brother has like a horde of girls, and they were like built to be rugby players. And so, like, I don't know. I just think I see more kids that like run up and just treat you as a jungle gym, you know, like everything's a contact sport.
Okay, fair. That's fair. So one of the questions that we had was like, what's your least favorite location? So I have a qualm with some of the locations. I don't like the ones that rearrange stuff. I like the ones that say at the end of blank turn, move all these cards here to a random location. I especially don't like when it's like the third location and I've already played stuff there. That is so annoying. I like the location that says on turn 6, you can move things here. I like that because then I get to control what's going on there. But like,
so like
go ahead.
When it's the moving ones, it seems to be like, I like the ones where you can predict. And so if you can kind of like try to think ahead and like play, but yeah, the ones that do it randomly, that's kind of irritating. And then kind of on that, like, you know, just doing things randomly, it's the location that will destroy another location. And it's like, that's not adding anything. I'd almost rather it changes it to like a new location, like that one Scarlet Witch does, maybe?
Scarlet Witch, yeah.
Yeah.
I use Scarlet Witch often just because like locations are so important to me.
I don't have the Scarlet Witch, I don't think. No.
I don't have Squirrel Girl, so I'm.
Oh, I don't have Squirrel Girl either. I thought I clicked something, like I moved my foot, I'm like mouse, and it's like that doesn't make sense for me to have moved anything. So wait a minute, this is fine.
You're good. So yes, on the screen on the screen for the visual, anybody who's checking this out via video, did pull up here. I was given a couple of different resources. Marvel Snap Zone is one website that you can check out. I've been referencing this. They have a database that you can check out the cards. You can check out the locations, the variants, like card backs. They have guides and decks, and the decks are even split between the 3 pools. So like this seems super helpful if you're, you know, want to get more familiar with this. But I especially love the this location database because there are so many and some of them don't show up as often. So it's so nice to just be able to look through this and then be like, oh yeah, look at this. Okay.
Oh, also, I like how the locations play into, so like the Westview. So if you scroll down, I see Westview's down there, and that transforms into a new location on turn 4. And that's like the Scarlet Witch's thing. She can like warp reality. So it's like, and then Atlantis, the Atlantis location says if you only have 1 card here, it has +5 power, which is also Namor's ongoing effect. Like if he's the only card in a lane, you get +5 power. So like that, the fact that like Atlantis works with Namor and Westview is like what the Scarlet Witch is, and like Central Park is add a squirrel to each location, and that's Squirrel Girl, and like Crimson Cosmos is cards that are 1, 2, and 3 can't be played here because like the Crimson Bands of Sidorak give you like immense power. That's a Marvel comic nerd thing. Crimson Bands of Sidorak give you immense power. That's where Wanda got her power from. That's where Cyclops' eye beams come from. There's a couple of things that come from that, but essentially it makes somebody
any red power.
A lot of the red powers are from Sidorak. in the comics. So like,
Okay.
did you watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh no. Okay.
I know.
But yeah.
Feel free to spoil it though. Like I understand it's been a while.
So there's this like red monster that's chasing the Doctor Strange and America Chavez. It's also an awesome card in Marvel Snap. And that's from Sidorak as well. So Sidorak is like a major part of the Marvel universe that like hasn't been necessarily shown in the movies, but if you know like the comics, like I know a lot about the comics, and so
I was always a DC person, so like
ew.
I know.
I'm joking.
I know.
I'm joking. It's Android and iPhone. They're both great, actually. They're both great.
There's one right one, and we will fight to the death over
That's
this.
okay. We can fight because I honestly DC comics are better. I just like Marvel's characters more.
Marvel's like a lot happier, and
yeah, they're more fun.
For some reason, that's not what I was looking for in my comics. It's like one of my favorite is like the have you read Injustice? Like
yeah.
That's like dark and heavy, and
dark.
It's like yes, this is exactly what I want out of what should be just colored pictures. Like this is
it's beyond that.
Yeah. But they did do like I do like the themes, even if I don't know as much about the Marvel universe as you know, somebody who fully reads the comics and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't keep up all the time, but like I like lore. I love lore. So like Hearthstone's based on World of Warcraft lore. So like I went and checked out a lot of Warcraft lore just because I love Hearthstone.
I'm just getting into that because one time I just randomly said that I ship who's the
Sylvanas?
Oh my God, Sylvanas and Jaina. And oh boy, howdy, World of Warcraft people were not happy with me about that one. And you know what? I still ship it. I don't care. You can have your story. They're great to me.
I wish we played more
war crimes together. So
they do. I wish we played more on the Sylvanas versus the Lich King thing, because that's like a huge deal for me, at least when I was catching up on lore. Like the fact that Sylvanas took out Arthas' Lich King is pretty dope.
I was gonna say that did seem like and then I got like a rundown of like the complete history, and that does seem like an interesting part of that. And so, you know, I've read Warhammer books, so I guess it's time for me to get into World of Warcraft books and everything.
So speaking of lore, I guess it's way off. We're just traveling.
I'll bring it back around.
I love it.
Have you seen Arcane, the show Arcane?
Love it.
Okay, so I keep hearing
I
haven't seen it. I keep hearing
neither one of you seen it. I watched it 3 times in the first week. I've also got a problem, so like maybe don't like. Okay, it's so good.
I definitely got it. I keep hearing. I saw this video where this dude was like the greatest first seasons of television of all time, and so his first one was like Game of Thrones, which Game of Thrones is fantastic. I love Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Wonderful first season, really good world building. And then he said his next one was like True Detective, or I think True Detective was the show. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
He said that was a really good first season, which I've never seen that, but I'll take his word for it. And then he said Arcane he said it was like controversial pick, but Arcane was like a really good first season.
I don't think it should be a controversial pick. And I know this is kind of random, and this is such a random place for this to like have, but like I thought Arcane did a really excellent job of like depicting like mental illness, which is like for like a goofy fun, like, you know, colorful show, not what you would expect out of it, but like they did a great job. And yeah, it's a really good show.
Gotta watch it. Watch it. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back.
That is okay, because I feel like I'm kind of the queen of tying things together and like segues. So I will say that was one other thing. I did get asked on stream, like, hey, do you think I would like this game, or should I try this game if I don't really like Marvel, or if I don't know, you know, Marvel stuff, like if I don't know stories? Yes, I still think you should absolutely try it. Just like Hearthstone players, there's plenty of Hearthstone players who had never played World of Warcraft, didn't know anything about Warcraft or the characters. They can still play Hearthstone. Same with League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, right? Like I never really played. I never got into League of Legends or like any Riot stuff. but I've still played and enjoyed Legends of Runeterra.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this still applies. Like, if you've never, gotten into the comics, or maybe if you've just like, I never really got into the comics, and like I was really late on that kind of stuff. I just get all that info from my husband because he's like super into that. So he just tells me all the stories. So I'm like, okay, thanks. But I've seen like the mainstream movies and stuff, right? So I can still kind of recognize characters and know a little bit, but I've still been having an absolute blast playing the game and being able to pick it up. So even if you're not familiar with the characters, the stories, or anything like that, you haven't seen the movies, you haven't read the comic books, but you're interested and you think you might enjoy a very fast-paced card game like this, I would still definitely recommend that you give it a try.
I was gonna say, it seems like you don't need to like have any idea who the cards are,
Yeah.
but it just adds like a little bit of color if you do know, vibrancy, and adds to the reason like why certain cards perform that way. But
Yeah.
So favorite snap, like, okay, so you said you play a lot of on reveal, so like Odin.
Yes. Here's the thing. I'm terrible with like names of these things. I will have things in Hearthstone that like I've played for forever. I don't know their name. I call him like Froggy Boy. I know is like one particular card that like I love. Still to this day. I think I called Guff Gruff for the longest time. So like let me pull up Snap before like I'll just they don't need their real name.
We had to teach you about Gruff McGuff.
I know. And
Gruff, the crime dog.
Yep. This was like a new thing to me and I loved it.
If any younger audience, you probably have no idea what we're talking about there. It's okay.
Yeah, we went to school and like a time where like there was like Gruff McGruff the crime dog and like Dare the Dare Lion, the war on drugs. Drugs won, by the way.
I know. I love that onion shirt that's like, let's congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs.
They decisively won that war. But yeah, what's your favorite cards or like decks to play? So like I have now built like 5 different decks based on like the bigger card, like Blue Marvel makes a good Zoo deck and Khazar, and then there's like the ongoing deck with the devil dinosaur deck, and then there's Khazar, the Zoo deck. That's really cool. The discard deck is cool. It's fun. The Spectrum ongoing deck is fun. There's like a couple, like a lot of decks that I just like mull around with.
You have much more of a theme to your decks. So like I think I also said on reveal earlier, and I probably meant ongoing. And matter of fact, when you just mentioned it there, like I didn't know Devil Dinosaur was a good ongoing one. Probably should add him to like my ongoing deck.
Yeah.
Onslaught is like one of my favorite boys. He doubles your other ongoing effects at a certain location. So if you like Blue Marvel Onslaught, like
insane,
it becomes really powerful.
Do you have like Moon Girl? And so there's like Moon Girl, there's Cable, there's Sentinel, there's Mantis. There's
I haven't gotten Mantis yet. I know that. Or I don't think I've gotten. Oh, maybe I have.
It's a 1 cost. These are all.
Oh, I do have Mantis.
Those are all cards that like add cards to your hand, so they like help the Devil Dinosaur.
Okay.
To be bigger, it can win like it usually wins a lane by itself a lot of the times because it's just like a very large 5-drop, especially when you double your hand size. I didn't know. Also, I found out playing this deck that there's a hand size limit. You can't just have like infinite cards in your hand. You only can go up to like 7 cards.
Yep.
Wow. And it just burns them, or does it just not draw them?
I don't think you draw at all. Like I didn't necessarily I didn't see anything on the screen that indicated that I burned a card or anything like that. But like when my hand was full, I just don't think I drew a card for a turn.
Interesting.
I had a game where I learned that if you have no cards left in your deck, you don't draw anything. Nothing happens as a start of the turn.
Nope.
And that was because my opponent played like 3 or 4 different cards that just like stole my like Mantis and then Cable and like something else, and they just like kept taking my cards, like getting rid of them, and I was like, well. And then I think there might have been a location that we drew something as well, or I drew a couple cards. So it was like, the end of the game, and I was like, I didn't draw on this last turn.
Yep.
No. So that can happen.
With only 12 cards in the deck, it's weird.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just like wonder why they decided to put in a hand size limit if there is like only 12 cards in the, unless there's something that generates like a ton of them. And I haven't checked out like what the other like later cards are.
That's Moon Girl. So Moon Girl's in pool 1, and it's also mobile. So like they don't want you to like have
screen
to
size.
Fair. Okay.
Scroll all the way around.
Screen size.
That's really fair.
You could have with Moon Girl and cards like Sentinel and Mantis and like Camartage, which doubles it's a location that doubles on reveal effects. And so if you have like 6 cards in your hand and you play Moon Girl and you put like 10 more cards, that would be a lot. That would be a lot.
Okay. All right. Those are like all really reasonable reasons.
But I would be fine with just scrolling through a whole library of cards. Yeah, I wouldn't care.
I think pulling up like a deck carousel, because they could have that like be a really fast mechanic, but I guess it's just another feature that you probably don't want to add at a certain point.
Yeah.
Easier to just limit your hand size.
If they're not even like telling us how card pools work, or like, telling people in the tutorial stuff that you can undo actions, like I don't imagine they're adding anything for the hand size.
You'll figure it out. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that I had no idea about. I'm trying to think of what else there was that I didn't know about. So synergy in decks is really cool. It's really good to find something that works. Like I said, I love deck building. I feel like that's the way to gain an advantage. Obviously, this pool is very limited. There's only so many cards you can build a deck with, and you can only put 12 cards in a deck. So the best 12 cards in any given like setup are going to be the best 12 cards. But I do notice like different tech cards that can make a difference depending on what you're seeing. So like Enchantress can stop ongoing effects, and Cosmo can stop on reveal effects. And so those are some pretty cool things. And then like there's Electra, which destroys 1-drops, which is a really, really good counter to Ant-Man, which I found because Ant-Man's really like a lot of power. Korg, that gives a rock to the opponent, is super good.
I guess like this doesn't quite fit in with like what you're describing, but like the Professor X, which like locks down a location. And so it's just like, all right, I've decided that we are done over here. And
funny you should say that. I'm terrified to play that card in the deck. I keep going, I could do this. Like this card is nuts if you do it right. Like,
I love it. It is.
I want to play it.
So much fun.
God, I tried that card, and you know what I keep doing? I keep going, okay, I'm going to play, like, I have initiative this turn. I'm going to play Professor X, like, over in whatever, like, the left lane, at that left location. Yeah. And then, since I have initiative, it'll get revealed, and then my opponent can't do anything. But then I keep forgetting, wait, we play our stuff at the same time? Yeah. And then it's just revealed in whichever order. So I'm like, it doesn't work that way?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, they still got their card there. So, like, I still lose that location. Dang it. And then I'm like, oh, Professor X sucks. I don't like this anymore. So I took it out of my deck.
So my thing is, like, if there's going to be a reward for playing in another location on that turn, or, like, something that they can, like, shore up on, like, turn 5, I will play him in a different location.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly, I've really gotten a lot of success out of like making questionable moves because like people aren't expecting it. So it's like, I did not do the expected thing, and therefore I managed to get a victory out of this.
And that's like what I was saying at the very start, right? The like, when you make a move like that and you win, like you're like, yes, I am so smart. I love this. And then maybe sometimes you look back and you're like, was that really like smart? Or was that just like,
random
weird? And they just didn't expect it. I don't know, but I won.
Soon as Professor X connects and you see that they don't play anything in that lane, snap every time. Just snap. Consider that game won and over if it connects.
I love it. But also,
I think my favorite. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say Professor X with the if you already have what's his face in the middle lane, Mr. like he has like stretch. Yes, thank you. Like those are a good combo too. That way, you know, you can kind of play around a little bit if they did manage to play a card there, even that turn.
It's also good with the claw, which gives 6 power to a lane to the right. Professor X is really good at that. Yeah.
All these things that I have to add to my deck because I don't think like I've updated my deck since
the beginning.
Like maybe like level 40, maybe level 50 on the like collections level or whatever.
Is the Hulk in there still?
No, luckily not.
Okay. I was like, okay.
I did keyword ongoing, and I had almost enough to make a full deck.
Okay.
So that's the last.
I'll put some decks that I have in the show notes. You can like compare and be like, oh, that's cool, or oh, that sucks. Feel free.
That'd be great because I know it's like one of my weaknesses. It's like on Hearthstone as well. If you ask me to build a Hearthstone deck, it's going to be the worst deck that's ever existed. It's going to have like either all very cheap or very expensive cards. There's definitely never going to be enough card draw. And it's always just like a mess. So I'm glad that there's, you know, resources out there where I don't have to be good at the deck building in order to play the rest of it.
We live in the internet age. Everybody's sharing everything. So you can just search your little, whatever your favorite card is, search that card, and you can literally just find decks full of whatever that card is good at.
Unfortunately, the last time I looked at decks, and like this is also my fault completely, I'll acknowledge that, it was early on when I was, you know, rebuilding decks, and I'm like, I don't have 90% of these cards, so I'm just gonna random whatever this.
What's your collection level now?
Oh gosh, probably a lot higher. I kind of have gone on a bit of a rampage recently. Let's see. Where do you even find your collection level?
The middle, like you're going to play a game.
Okay.
And that green number, the green one below your picture.
Oh gosh, it's 143. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a decent amount of cards.
I do now.
Yeah.
I just haven't updated anything since I got a decent amount of cards.
That's fine. Whatever. Hey, if it's working, if you win
it worked for a while, and then so I didn't lose except for like that one concede game for the first day that I was playing, but you know, mainly playing bots, so like that doesn't really count. And then like it was going great until last night after like I stopped streaming and I just decided to like sit and play. It got real bad real quick. So it's like this is time to update. This isn't looking pretty anymore. But
Dawn, what's your collection level?
Almost 140, I think. I'd have to.
Okay.
Look. Yeah, I think it was like 136 or 138 when I last looked.
Okay, so you got a lot of cards too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably be higher if I, you know, didn't also sign up for a casting battlegrounds and was like, I better also prepare for that.
You play both at the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not a bad decision at all.
This week into Snap, oh, let me tell you, I'd be way farther. But no, I'm trying to be responsible, you know.
You sound like the guy that's like not wanting to get in the fight. He's like, hold me back.
Pretty much. I mean,
come on, Itachi. Like we shared our collection level. Now you share yours. This is how this works.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. It's 178.
Okay.
Which just shows you that I should not be playing so much.
Like it's it's such a problem. And like the problem is it's so short. So like I will play it when I would never start a Hearthstone game. So like if I'm waiting on like a call or something, I'll be like, yeah, I can just play Snap. Like it'll be so quick. And then just don't stop ever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Quick story, and then I think we'll wrap up and continue on. Speaking of getting a call, so the other night I was playing down in the kitchen, like letting my dogs outside. I'm like, all right, yeah, I can jump on my phone, play some games. And then I was in the middle of a game. It was only like turn 2 or 3. And then my husband called, and I almost was like mad. I'm looking at my phone, like, I'm in the middle of a game. I can't answer this phone call. Like, no, I need to play this game. And then
that's where you hang up. Like,
I was like, this is kind of bad.
Do you have an iPhone?
I have Android.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you have an iPhone, swipe it away.
On Samsung, you can have a split screen between your call and like it's not like perfectly, like there will be some glitchiness to it, but at least you can still pay attention to the game.
I don't know if I'm that good with technology to figure that out, but I will say, I think that game I got the TVA location, so the game ended on like turn 4, and I was like, "Oh, good, I can answer this phone call." And then
what is this?
My husband picked me up and got Taco Bell, so I was like, "That's that's a bonus." I was like, maybe I wanted to answer that call.
Taco Bell is worth it, but TVA I haven't heard of. So ending early. I've had
after turn 4.
So I've had a lot go to turn 7, but I've had none go to end at turn 4.
I've only had it once or twice, but it's a pretty rare location to get, but it does. It's like it, especially when it hits turn 3. When it hits turn 3, it throws you. You're like, oh crap. Okay, well, what do we do?
What's the biggest possible thing that like maybe in a location that oh my gosh.
Every time I get it, the both times I've seen it, I've been holding like 5 drop, 6 drop, and I'm like, okay, all right. Well, if nope, there's nothing. Nope. So yeah, it's a tough draw.
All right.
But
well,
my word of advice, sorry, the last thing I'll say, my word of advice is the next time that Walter calls when you're playing, just decline it. Don't even, if he calls again, it's an emergency pickup. But if he doesn't call again,
that 30 seconds, that's like, you can call him back. Nothing's that urgent, right?
Call him back. Just call him. If he calls again, then we can
like,
see.
Yeah, Tachi said.
You can blame it on me. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I will.
That's fine. I'll take it. I'll take all the blame. We're living boldly in 2022. We're declining calls in 2022. That's what we're doing. We are not going to watch our phone
forever.
Yeah.
All right. You know what, Smarms? You just mentioned about how quick they are. Well, let's move into something else that's going to go really quick. How about getting into our lightning round questions? Okay, so these are gut reaction, just your first, whatever comes to your head first, answers. All right, we'll switch off. I'll read the first question, and Tachi can take the next one after that. We'll alternate back and forth. Are you ready?
Yes. No. Okay. Probably. Maybe. Let's just cycle through all the answers, and then, I guess we'll land on something.
All right. First question. If you were a card from any of the card games you've played, which one would you be?
I would love to say something like badass, like Sylvanas or something cool, but in all fairness, it's probably Snorlax. That is my jam. I want to be like if I, in the detective, sorry, this is not a quick answer at all, but the Detective Pikachu. So one of my friends told me oh, you definitely have a Snorlax because then you just curl up and nap any given location, New York sidewalk, that's fine. Snorlax nap time. Absolutely.
Gonna go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 2, favorite type or archetype of deck to play?
Well, I will list some things. I don't know their official names, as we've determined earlier. I'm very bad at names. I like the quick buildy decks. So in Hearthstone, that manifest as Murlocs, where they just spiral out of control quickly, or Battlegrounds. I love playing the frog boy that just goes
Frogger.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. That one. And then in Snap so far, it's just been the ongoing one, but that was purely due to my laziness, and now it's the cards that I know. So
Perfect. All right, next question.
Does that have a name, by the way, you two experts? Like the spinning out of control ones?
Snowball
I don't know.
or aggro.
Yeah, like
usually like
aggro.
aggro or like snowball
Okay.
decks.
Yeah.
That'd be helpful to know so I could search what kind of decks I should be playing.
I want to play the thing that does all the stuff early. That's what I want. It's just type it.
Frog
And
boy
that's-
deck. You know, just
I was gonna say,
you can do it.
like with the Murlocs, and it's kind of what I liked about Snap is like I knew by turn 5 if I was winning or not, and like
Yep.
that is
Yeah.
great for me. All right.
Well, speaking of what's great for you, next question. What's one goal you have for yourself in the card game sphere?
I mean, I guess it can't be like a goal if I'm gonna do it, but like I did want to try out the tournament and see how that goes because
That's a
you know, I just started playing Battlegrounds in I think May. So to see how that goes, you know, could be a disaster, could be fun. We'll see. But yeah, just like, and then learning more about the names. I also told Dragon Rider, I didn't know. I thought she just had TCCG at the end of her name because she liked those initials. I did not know that that stood for like card game. Probably something like I could have anticipated considering I am capable of telling like HS afterwards means Hearthstone. But I was just like, no, those are just letters that she likes, clearly.
Yep. I like those 4 letters specifically in that order, TCCG.
So like learning about this stuff would be great. Yeah.
Okay,
Basic
last
goals,
question.
like really baseline.
Do you prefer physical or digital cards?
So I think playing wise, definitely digital because I like the rules being enforced on me like before because I will be like, oh, if I do like with physical decks, I'm always like, oh, I could do this, but there's like some reason I can't. And I would just rather the like system knows that already.
Oh,
So
yeah.
but I did, you know, my foil Charizard still holds a near and dear place in my heart. So for like shiny things, physical cards is clearly the way to go.
Surprise question. What is your favorite effect in Marvel Snap of all the cards you play? So you don't know names, but what's your favorite effect?
I like the one that gives +2 to your other ongoing cards because if you manage to like play that, like, you know, when the cards cost cheaper, if you play that with the guy that doubles that effect, you just like win 3 locations pretty much all the time with the deck that I had going. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Never would have. Sure.
It's okay.
100% have to trust you on that one, but
played a lot. That's all I can say. It's shameful. I should probably be indicted, but here we are.
No, here's the thing. I can play for forever. Like I will, you know, I play a ton of Hearthstone or, you know, I've been playing a ton of Snap. I will not learn the names. My brother was talking to me the other day. Like I've lived in Phoenix for like a combined total of 20 plus years now. Street names, not really important to me. Like, it's like, oh, it's kind of over here by this thing. And it's like the freeway intersects there. And so like, that's what you need to know. So yeah.
You don't need to know. Me and my wife want to go there to, well, not Phoenix, but to Sedona. Me and my wife want to make a trip there.
Sedona's beautiful. It's also got the best corn restaurant I've ever been to. They specialize in corn.
What?
Corn. CORN.
Oh, gotcha.
Not
okay.
corn.
I was like,
Sorry.
wait.
Sorry, not that kind of restaurant. They had corn ice cream, and I like want to make that at least once a week. It is like not something you would expect because like corn we typically do is savory dishes. It is so good in like but yeah, anyways, that's random. But in Sedona, there's a lot of great things to do.
Have you had corn? This isn't a corn cast, by the way. This isn't a corn podcast. Have you had corn jelly though? Corn jelly is dope. So good. It's when you like take corn on the cob. You take the corn on the cob after the like you've eaten all the corn, right? And then you boil it. Like you boil the sugar out of it with sugar and gelatin, and then you make corn.
You know what? I was gonna say,
corn jelly.
I didn't think I had, but I might have had a version that like had jalapenos in it, and that was like, but I can't remember exactly. But no, that sounds amazing. I'm always down for like different corn flavored things. I don't know. My mom's from the Midwest.
Welcome to our podcast, the TCCG podcast, where TC just means talking about corn. I'm your host. Corn. I'm your host, Itachi. Hello.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you know what? Please, Smarms, tell everyone where we can find you and they can go and talk to you about corn and maybe some card games as well.
We should. No, only corn. I refuse to talk about anything else.
Forget what I said.
No. So I'm mainly on Twitch at Sendmeyourarms, and I'm also on Twitter at Sendmeyourarms. Twitch is the main thing I do. I feel like I should do other things, but that's where we're at for now. But
I had not followed you, so when I found out you were the guest today, I went and followed you. So kind of browse your page. So I saw the sugar daddy remark.
I don't even know what I said.
Some guy sent you like a text.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a scam message. It was like, I'm going to send you $5,000 a week to be. I thought it was so funny. I was like, what is this?
Honestly, it's like, my friends get a lot more than I do because it's like mainly through, people who post their Instagram. I think I've posted to my personal Instagram like once in the last year. But even then, still get those messages. And like some of them are serious because I have had friends that have sent feet pics before. And you know what? They make money off that. So good on them. Sorry. All right. I guess we're transitioning from.
We have gone from snap to feet to corn to. Okay. Legend of the Bone Zone. Send me your arms. We were so glad to have had you today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. This has been amazing.
Talk about all the things. We will definitely be talking about corn later. I'll put snap decks in the channel.
That'd be so helpful.
Our Discord channel. So
perfect.
Yes. Right. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. And Itachi mentioned the Discord. Well, let's go ahead and talk about all the places that you can find us. And you know what? If you or someone that you know want to be on the show, just like Smarms was, then please reach out to us. Let us know. Email us.
It was fun.
It was. Yeah. We talked about like everything. Like I said, card games, like corn, feet. Also, like we got you covered. So
at least we didn't talk about. Oh, never mind. I can't shut up. Apparently, I was gonna say at least we didn't talk about monster smut, and then let me just bring that up again. Sorry. Anyways,
there you go. Well. Go ahead and if you want to get in touch with us, email us at tccgroundtable@protonmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is Twitter at TCCG Roundtable. Our top pinned tweet there links to our Discord as well as everywhere else. If you want to find us, you can use that. It's very convenient. We'll also have the Discord link in our show notes or on the YouTube description as well if you want to find us. And you can also check out the video version, which we do stream live every Friday around 7 p.m. Eastern over on my personal YouTube channel. youtube.com. You can find me there at Dragon Rider TCCG and also everywhere that you can find audio podcasts. So if you are checking this out on YouTube or via the video, if you want to, listen to the show while you're at the gym or running errands or whatever else, playing Marvel Snap, you want to have us on your phone playing too, then we'd definitely love to have you check us out via the audio podcast as well. And then you can click those descriptions or the link show notes and find where you can find Itachi and myself as well. But I think for this week, that is going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you at the roundtable.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in live as well. All right.
He is upset that we are getting off the air. Upset.
How
How
dare.
dare you stop to talk about corn? How dare you?